Hi everyone, welcome to Impact Academy. So let us continue with the polity. Last session we have seen till 25th question. So let us continue with the 26th question. So consider the following acts: Indian Councils Act 1909, Government of India Act 1919, Government of India Act 1935, and Raul Act 1919. So all these are very important acts. So we have seen them multiple times, and more questions will be frequently asked from this. And he is asking about how many of the above acts included communal representation in their ambit. So, if you look at uh, the acts, we are starting from 1909. So, we have seen multiple times that Councils Act, Indian Councils Act 1909, also called as the Morley Minto Reforms, is the first act which introduced separate electorates for Muslims. Okay, and in this only we see what is the father of communal electorate, Lord Minto. Okay, Lord Minto is called as father of communal electorate, especially for this. And in Government of India Act 1919, which is also called as the Montague Chelmsford Reforms, we have seen that communal representation has been extended to six Christians, Anglo-Indians, Muslims. So in 1909, it was introduced. In 1919, it was also extended to six Christians, Anglo-Indians, Muslims. And in 1935, in see the principle of communal representation by providing separate electorate for depressed classes, scheduled caste. So, including, I mean, apart from the six Christians, Muslims, etc., even within the what you say Hindus, the scheduled castes for them separate electorate has been what is it provided for the depressed classes. Okay, and women and labor also. So in 1909, only for Muslims. 1919, it was extended to six Indians and Christians, Anglo-Indians, Europeans, etc. And in 1935, it was provided for depressed classes, women and labor within the what is the Hindus. So if you go back to the question, which of the following acts included communal representation? So, Indian Councils Act of 1909, it consisted of communal representation. Next, 1919 also, Montague Chelmsford Reforms, that also has. GOI Act 1935 also has. So, we have seen in 1909 only for Muslims it was provided. In 1919, it was extended to six Christians, Anglo-Indians, etc., etc. And in 1935, it was, I mean, within the Hindus, it was a separate electorate had been provided for the depressed classes, women, and labor. Okay. So remember all that information because tomorrow a question can be asked in any way. So you say which was the following act which had provided what is a separate electorate for women. So then you have to remember Government of India Act 1935. Okay. So when you study a question, study at all the options, study in depth. And Rowlatt Act 1919. So Rowlatt Act 1919 is not exactly related to the what you say communal electorate. Okay, Rowlatt Act 1919 is more about what you say. It contains provisions like you can arrest a suspect without trial. Okay, and by the time if you observe this non-cooperation movements and several movements, the independence movement is coming to a certain stage. So there was a lot of friction between the government, I mean the British government and the Indians. So they were taking all these steps. Okay, in order to control the Indians, especially control any kind of what is a terrorist activity or revolutionary activity. Terrorist, I think, is not the right word. Revolutionary activities. Okay, any kind of resistance from the Indian freedom fighters, etc. So, in order to control that, the Rowlatt Act of 1919, and what it says that um, it is mainly what you can say. It can arrest. You can arrest anyone without a trial. Okay, without any jury or trial, anything, you can arrest and keep in custody. So actually, in what you say, in response to this Rowlatt Act 1999, people have gathered at Jallianwala Bagh. Okay, so the Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened as a protest to the Rowlatt Act. You can say because of the Rowlatt Act, people came there to protest, and the Jallianwala Bagh incident followed later on. And later on, in the 1920, you also have the non-cooperation movement. Okay, all those are very important points. So in this particular case, communal representation was there in 1, 2, 3. So only 3. So I would say option C is the answer. So yes, C is the answer. Let us look at the 27th question. So this is regarding citizenship. Again, a very important question. So consider the following about the losing Indian citizenship. Okay. So these are three standard ways of losing Indian citizenship. Renunciation, when an Indian citizen voluntarily acquires the citizenship of another country. Now that is not renunciation. See, renunciation means when a citizen of India who is of full age and capacity, he makes and registers a declaration renouncing his Indian citizenship. Okay. So it is not about acquiring another country's citizenship. It is about giving away your citizenship. So you are of age, let's say 18 years ago, and you are not of unsound mind or anything. You are completely healthy mentally and physically. And you make a declaration that okay, I am renouncing my Indian citizenship. That is called renunciation. Okay. Okay. Next, and also what you say, I mean, when a person who's having Indian citizenship, he renounces the citizenship, okay, but his minor child, at that time he will lose the Indian citizenship, but when such a child in the future becomes a major, he crosses 18, then he may resume the Indian citizenship because it is not his fault. His father has given up the Indian citizenship, but because the son is also of the son is also of Indian origin, he is also an Indian. When he becomes a major, he gets the opportunity to resume his Indian citizenship. Try to keep that also in mind. So that is renunciation. Termination. So this particular description is actually the description of termination. When an Indian citizen voluntarily acquires the citizenship of another country, okay, when the Indian citizen voluntarily acquires the citizenship of another country, then his Indian citizenship automatically terminates. So there is no concept of dual citizenship in India. So remember this. This is termination. This particular definition is for termination. The citizen has shown disloyalty to the Constitution of India, and if you talk about deprivation, deprivation is that what you can say a kind of a compulsory termination of Indian citizenship by the central government. Okay. And when the citizen has obtained citizenship by fraud, yes, that is true. When you obtain citizenship by fraud and the government finds out, then you will be deprived. So this is true, and this is also the citizenship. What you say has the citizen has shown disloyalty to the Constitution of India. So that is also true. Okay, so this is also actually one of the description of deprivation. And apart from this, what are the other situations where you can be deprived? For example, if you are during a war, okay, during a war, if you are what is getting in contact with enemy, say if you are in war with Pakistan and you are giving some information to Pakistan, so if you are going against the state, okay, then your citizenship can be deprived. And if you have obtained with fraud, for example, you say that I mean you have to be a resident for so many years and you claim polity, okay, or you say something, you give some false information, and you obtain citizenship, then in such a cases the citizenship can be deprived. Okay, and when you show disloyalty to the constitution, and also after getting what you say the Indian citizenship, I mean within 5 years, okay, within 5 years after registration or naturalization has been imprisoned in any country for 2 years. So remember that that is also there. So after getting your registration or naturalization, if you are imprisoned in any country for 2 years, even then your citizenship will be lost. And ordinarily, if you are resident out of India for 7 years continuously, okay. So all these are points for which deprivation is applicable. So renunciation is you voluntarily give up. This is wrongly matched. Termination is when you voluntarily acquire citizenship of another country. So even this is wrongly matched. This is correct. Okay. How many of the above pairs are incorrectly matched? So two of them are incorrectly matched. So option B, only two. So consider the following statements with reference to the objectives resolution. It was drafted and moved by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar during the Constitution Assembly debates. So this is outright wrong. So I am sure everyone is aware when you say objective resolution, first thing that has to come to your mind is Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, it was drafted and moved by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And also, we have seen in the some of the preamble questions, right? The preamble is what you say based on the objective resolutions by Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, we see that question frequently. Next one, it was adopted with a divided opinion by the Constituent Assembly. So that is also wrong. The objective resolution, which was moved by Jawaharlal Nehru, was unanimously adopted by the Constituent Assembly. It was not divided opinion. So keep that in mind. It was unanimously adopted, and it was adopted in 22nd January 1947. Okay, so even before we got the independence, in the January of 1947 itself, Jawaharlal Nehru ji moved this objectives resolution on which the preamble is also based. Now, if you look at the preamble also, it mentions that India is an independent sovereign republic. Okay, socialist, secular, and all those were not there at the time, and we said that preamble is based on the objectives resolution. So this is correct. Okay. So, which of the above given statements are incorrect? So, I think 1 and 2. Okay, let us check the answer. So, it is A. So, 1 and 2 are wrong. So, this is correct. The objectives resolution proclaimed India as a independent, sovereign, and republic. So, which of the following actions of a member of parliament are immune to proceedings in any court under Article 105 of the Constitution? So, let us quickly look at Article 105. Okay, so apart from 105, just look at, I mean, try to remember, especially when you're preparing for group 2, you have to remember most of the articles. So we're talking about parliament, okay, constitution of parliament, council of states, etc. It is the 93 speaker and deputy speaker, that is one important thing. And deputy chairman, okay, speaker, all these things around 93 to 96, you're getting about speaker, etc. And disqualification for membership 102, 103. So this between 100 and all this 106, etc. You are getting about these privileges, etc. Okay, vacation of seats, disqualification, and decision on as to disqualification, etc. So 105 is powers, privileges, etc. of the House of Parliament and of the members of committees thereof. So he's talking about the houses of the Parliament, that is both the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and the committees. Okay, all these several committees, and it is talking about the powers and privileges. Okay, so now let us look at the question. So, which of the following actions of a member of parliament are immune to proceeding in any court under Article 105? So, one of the privilege of the member of parliament is he is immune to proceedings in any court. Okay, and criminal acts. So, this is very important. Try to observe. For criminal acts, okay, there is no what you say. There is no immunity. Okay, for breach of civil laws is also there is no immunity, and anti-defection also there is no immunity. But anything said or any vote given by them in parliament or any committee thereof. Okay, so this what you say, this privilege is necessary because if the member of the parliament has to function properly, function independently without any duress or any kind of stress or anything, basically without any what you say outside interference, then he must have this what is a privilege. So anything he says in the parliament or any committee or any vote he gives, it is not what you say questionable in any court. So that he is immune to any proceedings in any court under Article 105. Okay, and this privilege is very important so that this the MP can be able to speak without any fear. Okay, whatever he wants to speak, he should be able to speak, and he should be able to vote freely in several of this internal elections or any what you say in any committee proceedings, etc. Okay, so that is a very important privilege. and he does not have any criminal immunity. Okay, any immunity for criminal acts, any immunity for civil laws. Okay, all those things are very important. So it is clearly B. Okay, 29 answer is B. Very simple. So let us look at the 30th question. Which one of the following committees was set up in 1999 to examine the operational aspects of the fundamental duties in India? So, if you observe, we have seen that during 1975, during the emergency, after that in 1976, we had the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act and also the Sardar Swaran Singh Committee. Okay, now Sardar Swaran Singh Committee had what is a provided for the fundamental duties, but they were not legally enforceable, or they do not have any what is say penalties, or any what some form of authority is not there. So in 1998, the Supreme Court had questioned the government, what are you doing to spread the awareness about the fundamental duties among the citizens? Okay, so in that context, the Supreme Court had constituted this Justice Verma Committee. Okay, in order to examine various aspects of fundamental duties, how to educate people. Okay, how to educate people to obey the fundamental duties, because they are not enforceable in courts or anything. So this Justice Verma Committee has been formed in order to study about the practical aspects of fundamental duties and spread awareness about the fundamental duties. So that is Justice Verma Committee. If you look at these other committees, Abid Hussain Committee means, first thing you have to remember, this small sector, small scale industries, etc. Okay, they are not very recent committees. They are Abhijit Sen Committee. Abhijit Sen Committee is, first thing you have to remember, agriculture. Okay, it is something related to agriculture costs, and I mean that cost index, price index, all those things, several things. You need not remember so much. Just remember that Abid Hussain Committee is related to small scale industries, and Abhijit Sen Committee. Okay, Abhijit Sen Committee is related to agriculture, and R3A committee is usually you have this what is it, telecommunications during the 1991 the um, TRI and all, which is basically a telecom regulator. So usually at that period you have this R3A committee. So R3A committee is related to telecom department, you can say. So just remember briefly. Okay, Abid Hussain Committee. Abid Hussain means small scale industries. Abhijit Sen Committee related to agriculture, R3A Committee related to telecom industry, and Justice Verma Committee. There are several times I think Justice Verma Committee was there. But in this particular case, aspects of fundamental duties in 1999, to examine the operational aspects of the fundamental duties, Justice Verma Committee has been what you say, committee had been formed. So it will be option B. Okay, fine. So we have completed 5 more questions. In the next session, we will continue with the 31st question. Thank you.